3 friends, same college, same graduation year, same group chat, for 5 years, nothing weird. Then one person made a single money decision, and within 6 months, the group fell apart. The decision wasn't dramatic. She didn't win the lottery, she didn't inherit money, she didn't start flashing designer bags, she just stopped going to brunch. Her name was Sarah, and the text messages started 3 weeks later. "You too good for us now? Must be nice to have money to waste on other stuff. We get it. You're on a budget." Except Sarah wasn't broke. She was saving $1,500 a month, and her friends couldn't stand it. This isn't a story about bad friends. This is a story about the 3 psychological breaking points that happen when you start making different money choices than the people around you. And if you don't see them coming, you'll either lose the friendship or abandon your financial goals. Both happen every single day. I'm Kevin, and over the last 4 months, I've interviewed 68 people who experienced friendship tension over money decisions. Not dramatic wealth gaps, just normal people making slightly different choices. What I found isn't about income levels. A nurse making $62,000 experienced the exact same pattern as a software engineer making $140,000. Same breaking points, same timeline, same confused hurt on both sides. Today I'm showing you the 3 moments when resentment starts. Why it has nothing to do with how much you earn and everything to do with what you signal, and the exact script to navigate it without losing either your friends or your financial future. Because here's what nobody tells you. The resentment isn't about your money. It's about the mirror you're holding up. And once you understand that, everything Sarah went through will make perfect sense. So will what happened to her 2 friends. And so will exactly what to say the next time someone makes a comment about your choices. Let's start with the moment it actually begins. Because it's not when you think. Here's the pattern I found in every single interview. Friendship resentment over money follows a 3-stage escalation. I call it the resentment curve, and it's shockingly predictable. Stage 1. The noticing. Your friends register that you're making a different choice. No judgment yet. Just observation. This stage is neutral. You still have time. Stage 2. The interpretation. Your friends assign meaning to your different choice. This is where it gets dangerous. Because they almost never ask you directly. They just decide what it means. And they're usually wrong. Stage 3. The resentment. The misinterpretation hardens into emotion. Comments get passive-aggressive. Invitations stop coming. The friendship starts dying. And nobody knows why. Sarah and her friends went through all 3 stages in 4 months. But here's what's wild. The resentment didn't start when Sarah stopped going to brunch. It started 2 weeks before that. Let me show you what actually happened. Sarah had just finished reading a personal finance book. Nothing extreme, just basic stuff about emergency funds and compound interest. She got excited, so she did what friends do. She shared it in the group chat. Just learned you need 6 months of expenses saved. I'm starting tomorrow. Anyone want to do this together? Sent at 9:42 p.m. on a Tuesday. 3 delivered checkmarks. 0 responses. That silence was stage 1. The noticing. Her friends registered. Sarah is thinking about money differently now. And that observation sat there, unexamined, waiting to be interpreted. Most people think the problem is talking about money with friends. It's not. The problem is what happens in the silence after. Breaking point. 1. The mirror effect. This happens the moment your money decision forces your friends to look at their own choices, and they don't like what they see. 2 weeks after Sarah's group chat message, the 3 friends met for their regular Friday brunch. Usual spot, usual orders, but something had shifted. The bill came, $83. They'd always split it 3 ways. Sarah pulled out her card like normal, but this time, her friend Maya said something. "Must be hard now that you're being so strict with money," said with a smile, but it landed like an accusation. Sarah had never said she couldn't afford brunch. She just mentioned saving, but Maya heard judgment. Here's what was actually happening in Maya's head. Maya had $400 in savings. She'd been meaning to start an emergency fund for 2 years. Every time she thought about it, something else came up. Concert tickets, new boots, that weekend trip. She didn't feel bad about those choices until Sarah mentioned 6 months of expenses saved. Then suddenly, every brunch felt like evidence. Evidence that Maya was doing it wrong. Sarah wasn't judging Maya. Sarah was just excited about a goal. But Maya's brain didn't process it that way. Maya's brain processed it as, if Sarah is right to save, then I'm wrong to spend. This is the mirror effect. Your responsible choice becomes a referendum on their choice. Not because you said anything, because proximity to different behavior forces self-examination. And here's the part that makes this so painful. The more insecure someone is about their money choices, the more aggressive their reaction to yours. A 2024 study from the University of Michigan tracked friendship groups where one person started saving aggressively. 72% reported increased tension. But here's what's interesting. The tension was highest in groups where the other friends had the means to save, but weren't. Translation: the resentment isn't about affordability. It's about accountability. Your choice to save reminds them they could too. And that reminder feels like criticism, even when you never said a word. So Maya made a joke. Must be hard now that you're being so strict. The third friend, Jen, laughed. And just like that, Sarah was on the outside. Sarah tried to explain, I'm not being strict, I'm just trying to be smart about, but Maya cut her off. We're not judging you, you do you. Except that sentence is always a judgment. You do you, in friend speak translates to, your choice makes me uncomfortable, and I'm ending this conversation before I have to examine why. Sarah paid her part of the bill and went home feeling like she'd done something wrong. She hadn't. But the mirror effect doesn't care about logic. It cares about comfort. And Sarah's savings goal made her friends deeply uncomfortable. Here's what Sarah didn't know. While she was walking home, Maya and Jen stayed for another coffee, and the interpretation stage began. She's changed. Ever since she read that book. It's like she thinks she's better than us. None of this was true, but it felt true. And in friendships, feelings become facts faster than anyone wants to admit. The data backs this up. A 2025 Pew Research study found that 68% of people who changed their spending habits reported that friends misinterpreted the reason. The most common assumption? They're judging my choices. Actual reason in 91% of cases? I'm working toward a personal goal. Your friends aren't reading your mind. They're reading their insecurities and projecting them onto your behavior, which brings us to the second breaking point. And this one's more subtle. This one happens when you start seeing results. Breaking point 2. The evidence gap. This is when your different money choices start producing visible results, and your friends can't ignore it anymore. 3 months after the brunch incident, Sarah hit $10,000 in savings. First time in her life. She was proud. She wanted to celebrate, so she almost told the group chat. Almost. But she'd learn, so she stayed quiet. Celebrated alone with a screenshot to her mom, and said nothing to Maya and Jen. But silence doesn't hide results. It just delays the discovery, and the discovery always happens at the worst possible moment. 2 weeks later, Jen's car broke down. Transmission, $4,200. She didn't have it. Posted in the group chat, guess I'm getting a loan. FemL. Maya responded immediately, ugh, that's brutal. I'd be screwed too. Commiseration. Shared struggle. The friendship currency. Sarah saw the message, and she had a choice. Stay silent and preserve the peace, or tell the truth and risk the friendship. She chose truth. I have some saved if you need help getting through this. Delivered. Read. No response for 4 minutes. Then, oh, wow, you must be doing really well. No, thanks. I'll figure it out. That, oh, wow, carried 6 months of accumulated resentment. Sarah offering help wasn't the problem. Sarah having help to offer was the problem. Because now, the mirror effect had evidence. Sarah wasn't just talking about saving, she'd actually done it. And that made everything worse. Here's the psychological mechanism. When your friend talks about saving, they can dismiss it as a phase. When your friend has 10,000 saved, they have to confront that you made different choices and got different results. And if they don't want to confront their own choices, they'll attack yours instead. Not because they're bad people, because cognitive dissonance is painful, and blaming you feels better than blaming themselves. Maya jumped in 30 seconds later. Yeah, Jen, you got this. Some of us have to deal with real life, instead of hoarding every dollar. Hoarding. That word sat in the chat like a grenade. Sarah had gone from financially irresponsible to financially obsessed in her friend's narrative. Neither was true, but the story had been written, and once a story hardens, facts don't matter. A 2026 study from Stanford's psychology department found this pattern consistently. Quote, when individuals within a peer group demonstrate financial discipline that others in the group do not, the group typically responds by reframing discipline as deprivation or obsession rather than examining their own relationship with money. Translation: your friends will change the definition of responsible to protect their self-image. Sarah didn't respond to Maya's message. What could she say? The group chat went quiet. 3 people, 0 messages. For 6 days. On day 7, Maya posted a photo from brunch. Her and Jen. No Sarah. Caption: good vibes only, and that's how friendships end in 2026. Not with a fight, with a caption. Which brings us to the third and final breaking point. This is the one that determines whether the friendship survives, and it has nothing to do with money. Breaking point 3. The values fork. This is when you and your friends realize you're not just making different money choices, you're building different lives, and that gap might be too wide to bridge. 4 months after the good vibes only post, Sarah got invited to Maya's birthday dinner. She almost didn't go, but she thought maybe enough time had passed. Maybe they could reset. Dinner was fine, surface level fine. They talked about work, talked about a Netflix show, didn't talk about money, carefully didn't talk about money. Then dessert came, and Maya made an announcement. So Jen and I are planning a girls' trip to Tulum. 4 nights. All inclusive. It's going to be like $3,200 each, but we found a payment plan. You in, Sarah? Here's what Maya heard when she asked that question. Want to come on a fun trip with your friends? Here's what Sarah heard. Prove you're still one of us by making the same financially questionable choice we're making. Sarah had $3,200. Easily. But she'd been saving for a different goal. She was 8 months away from a $15,000 down payment on a car. A car that would cut her commute from 90 minutes to 30. A car that would change her daily life. Maya and Jen didn't know that, because Sarah had stopped sharing her goals. But even if they knew, would it have mattered? Sarah took a breath. I'm saving for something else right now, but you two are going to have an amazing time. Boundaries, kindness, clarity, the exact right response. Maya's smile didn't reach her eyes. Right. Of course. Saving. Always saving. The table went quiet. And this is the moment. The values fork. Because this wasn't about $3,200 anymore. This was about, do we value the same things? Do we want the same futures? Can we still be friends if the answer is no? Maya valued spontaneity, experiences, living in the moment. Those aren't bad values. Sarah valued security, planning, delayed gratification. Those aren't bad values either. But they're different values, and different values create different lives. The research on long-term friendships is clear. Friendships survive differences in money. They survive differences in lifestyle, but they rarely survive differences in core values once those values start producing visible life outcomes. Sarah went home that night and cried. Not because she wanted to go to Tulum, because she wanted friends who understood why she didn't. And here's the hard truth nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes growing financially means outgrowing friendships. Not because you're better than them, because you're going different directions. But here's the harder truth. Sometimes the friendship can survive if both people are willing to do one thing, and most people won't. That one thing? Get curious instead of defensive. If Maya had said, "Tell me about what you're saving for. I want to understand." If Sarah had said, "Tell me why Tulum matters to you. I want to get it," the conversation would have gone completely differently. But curiosity requires vulnerability, and vulnerability requires safety. And that safety had been destroyed 6 months earlier over an $83 brunch bill. So here's what to actually do. If you're making different money choices than your friends, and you want to keep the friendship, you need a strategy, not manipulation. Strategy. Strategy. 1. Name it before they do. The moment you start making a different choice, you control the narrative, or they will, and their narrative is always wrong. Here's what Sarah should have said in that first group chat instead of just sharing the tip. Hey, I'm working on a personal money goal, and I'm kind of excited about it. It might mean I'm less available for some stuff for a while, but it's not about you. It's about something I need to do for me. Clear, boundaried, affectionate. That message does 3 things. It explains the change, it reassures the friendship, and it removes the mystery that breeds interpretation. Strategy. 2. Share the goal without sharing the judgment. You can talk about your choices without making your friends feel bad about theirs. It's a skill. Here's how. Bad version: I can't do brunch anymore because I'm being responsible with money. Translation: you're being irresponsible. That's what they hear even if you didn't say it. Good version: I'm working toward a specific $15,000 goal, and I need to cut back on some spending to hit it. Miss you though. Coffee soon? Specific, personal, no moral judgment, maintains connection. The difference is massive. One makes it about values. One makes it about logistics. Values create conflict. Logistics create understanding. Strategy. 3. Celebrate their choices too. This is the one nobody does, and it changes everything. When Maya posts about the Tulum trip, Sarah could comment, "This is going to be incredible for you too." Send pics. I'll be living vicariously. No resentment, no superiority, just genuine happiness for a different choice. That comment does something powerful. It proves you're not judging them, which removes their need to defend by attacking you. Strategy 4. Find your financial values, friends. This is non-negotiable. You cannot be the only person in your life making intentional money choices. You will break. Sarah needed what Maya and Jen couldn't give her. Friends who got it, who were also saving, who understood the trade-offs without explanation, who celebrated the $10,000 milestone instead of resenting it. Those friendships exist, but you have to seek them out. Online communities, local meetups, coworkers on a similar path. They're out there. Find them. And here's what happens when you do. Your old friendships stop carrying the entire weight of your financial identity. You can be yourself with Maya and Jen in the ways you still connect, and be yourself with your money friends in the ways you've grown. Strategy 5. Know when to let go. Some friendships have expiration dates, and trying to force them past that date hurts everyone. If you've tried clarity, tried boundaries, tried celebration, and your friend still responds with resentment, that's data. That's them telling you they need you to stay small so they can stay comfortable. And you don't owe anyone your smallness, not even people you love. Sarah eventually stopped trying with Maya and Jen. It hurt. She grieved it. But she also built a life she's proud of. Bought the car, cut her commute, started investing, made new friends who cheer for her wins instead of resenting them. 2 years later, Maya reached out. I've been thinking about what you said about saving. Can we talk? Sometimes people grow, sometimes they don't, but you can't wait around to find out. Let's go back to the original question. When do your friends start resenting your money decisions? The exact moment is this, when your different choice forces them to see their own choice as a choice. Not when you get rich. Not when you judge them. Not even when you talk about money. When your discipline reflects back their lack of discipline. When your intentionality reflects back their autopilot. When your future focus reflects back their present focus. The resentment isn't about you. It's about the mirror you're holding. And you can't control whether they look in it and grow or look in it and attack. But you can control how you hold the mirror. With kindness. With boundaries. With clarity, and without apologizing for your growth. If you're watching this, and you're the Sarah in your friend group right now, the one saving while everyone spends, the one getting side comments, the one feeling isolated for doing the right thing, I need you to hear this. You're not crazy. You're not selfish. You're not boring. You're building a foundation while other people are building a feed. Both are choices. Only one compounds. The friends who can't celebrate your growth are telling you exactly how much of yourself they need you to limit to keep them comfortable. Believe them and choose yourself anyway. And if you're watching this and you're the Maya or the Jen, if you felt threatened by a friend's financial discipline, there's no judgment here. Just an invitation. Get curious. Ask your friend about their goal. You might learn something. You might even join them. Here's what I want you to do after this video. If you're making different money choices than your friends, pick one person and have the naming conversation. Use the script from Strategy 1. Be clear, be kind, be boundaried. See what happens. And if you know someone navigating this right now, send them this video. They need to know they're not alone. Your money decisions will change your friendships. That's not a bug. That's a feature. The question is whether they change by growing together or growing apart. Either way, keep building. The right people will celebrate with you.